Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
For artists that want to follow a realistic style, I don't know that you necessarily have to overthink about an influence like me or any other painter who does realism. You can certainly get a lot from the pieces that we've done, maybe even imitate some of those compositions, but I think you'll find your own way once you're just studying reality, which is what I would do. I mean, if I'm going to look at people, things, photographs, it's beneficial to start shooting your own if you can get into that. And these days, since everybody's got a camera, that's not so much of an issue anymore. Being able to study life as the basis for something is the best. I had the longest problem of thinking I needed to have everybody and every element be perfect before I could use it as a reference source. And so it took me a long time to realize how flexible the basis of the human form is. I've posed for myself on loads of paintings where now I guess I'm called out by some people online. It's a process of getting your mind comfortable with what you're building off of. And at a certain point, I would say accept that you're going to feel like you're not seeing it until you've seen it. You know, that maybe you do need to have a thing look like a thing exactly before you're painting from it.
Welcome back, everybody. Time again for Trek Watch.
Yeah.
As we discuss Star Trek Discovery, two old men shaking our fists at clouds, or dark matter anomalies, whatever the DMA stands for. John Suntress here, Mitch Halleck here. Yes, let the DMA take me. Indeed, Mitch Halleck.
That's
absolutely. Right. We got two episodes to talk about because last week I had C2E2. I couldn't make it. Mitch is busy. Franco's still on his away mission. Franco hasn't caught up yet. When Franco
he's not. He's the lucky one.
I think, honestly, he's kind of avoiding the season, and shame on him or shame on us that we didn't do the same. But we gotta. Hey, can't help it, man. We got to talk about these stupid episodes. Let's see. Is it a? I see. Wayne's asking if it's a CinemaScope. CinemaScope. Yeah, Trek review. Yes. So that's all right.
Oatmeal box camera thing going on.
Yes. Yeah. At least three old men shaking their fists. Indeed, Stuart Greenberg. I do want to get to comments that were already made on Facebook about this week's episode. But before we do, Mitch, last week's episode, we didn't have a chance to talk about it. Goodbye, Tilly.
Oh, yeah.
Tilly and Adira go on the away mission with the cadets.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Burnham is, because, of course, Burnham has to do everything. Despite not having any diplomatic experience, of course, we need Burnham at the political peace summit between Navarre and the Federation to get us going and everything. And yes, grievances are beginning, Otto Sump. Absolutely. Yes. So, no question. On the one hand, Mitch, I got to say, last week's and this week's episode, they are starting to look more like Star Trek episodes. We got away missions. We got some space politics going on. I don't mind that. And I mean, again, it's getting, and also both last week and this week, it's not all Burnham all the time. And other crew members got shit to do the last 2 weeks. They sent Tilly and Adira on the away mission with the cadets. I mean, but again, it's still frustrating that again, we don't get more of the bridge crew or more of the other crew members doing more and solving problems. At least Tilly did solve half the problem last week.
Yeah, and then they got rid of her.
You're right, man. I mean, that's as we were talking off the air. It's like every time they make a wrinkle about a crew member beyond Burnham, where they gave him something interesting and a little backstory. It's like, but we got to go. See you later.
Gotta go.
Bye. And everybody knows Tilly's coming back. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
Series regular.
Was Margaret Cho.
Oh, not Margaret Cho.
Margaret, yeah.
It wasn't Margaret.
Michelle
Cho's a stand-up comedian.
Michelle
Yeoh, yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, but Michelle Yeoh was written off the show.
Yeah, but
I don't think Mary Wiseman's being written off the show. I think honestly they either gave her a break the way they gave Doug Jones a break.
Yeah. Hey, actually, what happened with? I'm sorry for. You're right. I was thinking
Michelle Yeoh.
Show. That's my mistake. What happened to that whole Section 33 story? Is that
it's still Section 31? It's still in development.
Oh, it's still happening?
Yeah, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
I imagine Michelle Yeoh likely has other movies to like fill her schedule. It's interesting. I was listening to one of the Trexpert shows where they do commentaries on episodes. They were talking about Whoopi Goldberg and how initially, of course, she signed up to do Star Trek, and then her movie career really took off, and it was hard to like find time as much as she wanted to still be part of Next Generation.
Yeah,
so they really accommodated her movie schedule to pop her in the various episodes after season 2 or whatever, season 3, whenever I think she started in season 2. I think so.
She did, yeah. Season 2 she came on,
yeah. So there you go. But
okay, so last week was the Galileo 7 episode, which wasn't a bad idea, but I did recall as soon as I saw it, like this is what their version of the Galileo 7 classic, which is fine because it's like they're trapped and we're going fine. But and like you said there too, they're there and you have these two races that didn't get along and she's like, you're going to tell me you're not going to help him because his planet doesn't like your planet, and then they squabble. And you're right, it was fine. It was a fine little Star Trek thing. And though I did had a couple little snarky comments, like you got this creature that lives under the ground, and the thumping noise is what's going to set it off. So of course you put the chubbiest person who's probably not the most in shape on the ground to let the big crab monster eat her. Saying that as a fellow fatty,
hey,
if it was on that planet, you and me were looking at each other, I go, hey, send art.
This is the Big and Tall episode.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going out there because that thing would be like, woof! I've eaten enough of this guy. I don't need to get the rest of them for a while.
And that even extends to the third episode when the killer nuns.
Yeah,
we got to go after the killer nuns. Well, send Tilly. Yeah, she needs to get out of her comfort zone.
And she's not the most athletic and combat ready person. So let's get the chubby person out there. It'll be harder for them to cut through because there's so much fat.
So Wayne points out. Yeah, now I guess 31st century Starfleet has no, or 34th century Starfleet has no fitness requirements. Whatever. 32nd, I guess, because they're in Kirk's time.
No, because you're eating the low-cal feces processed in the replicator.
God bless you for pointing that out. Please stop saying that because
it's so gross. It's so gross. Every time I see them eat.
You're absolutely right. They made a big point of, what they're really eating. I don't really want to know.
No, when Tilly was on a couple weeks ago sitting down with
Please don't say it again. Please don't say it again.
Like, I know. It tastes good.
We're all aware. All of us that are watching Discovery, we all know what the food comes from. Let's not talk about it, please, because it is the dinner hour. Thank you. If you don't mind. Okay. Because, again, you're 100% right. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Hey, all I know is some very expensive, well-paid writer came up with that idea.
Exactly.
All these people are well-paid, and I sit there and I watch these shows. I go, seriously. But you said they were seeming like Star Trek, and I told you the other day, these people are not like Star Trek because Captain James T. Kirk would – backhand all these people if they sat there and started crying at their stations about how they felt and they didn't feel like they were confident enough to do their job. I go, then what in the hell are you doing on this ship? Because everybody there is supposed to be the best of the best, and that's why they're in Starfleet and they're professionals. Right. I don't think I could do it. I don't. Every one of the doctor, the science guy, everybody, every single person has doubts, and that's all they do with the whole show. They just sit there and question whether they could do this mission.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then Burnham does the mission, and at the end of every episode, she cries.
Well,
she gets upset emotionally.
All right, let's point out again. Yes, so during the negotiations, not only does Burnham come up with the solution, but Burnham is the solution in terms of moving forward. The only way Navarre will join the Federation is if, first of all, Burnham has to be the mediator because she's a citizen of both the Federation and Navarre, even though
she's been out of it for 900 years, but she knows exactly what's going on.
Yes, and as you pointed out, Mitch, it's one of us did that. It's like if a Viking suddenly showed up and
sat down at the peace negotiations.
Hey, I know you Republicans and Democrats can't figure out how to build back America or whatever. Let me help you out. First, you need to find a goat. You need to sacrifice it and say a prayer to Odin.
Yeah,
because and it's like what.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leif Erikson, Eric the Red, tell us what to do.
That's why it drives me crazy, because on the one hand, they are the solution every week, but on the other hand, we're all depressed because we're 1,000 years out of the past. It doesn't jive. I'm sorry, it doesn't. No. And also, I don't believe them in terms of their solutions and stuff. And also, the president, says, "Hey, the admiral's sick. Burnham and Saru, you step in this negotiation, but just sit there or whatever. And no, it was my plan to get you involved." And Burnham still can't help herself and is still talking shit to the president of the Federation. And it's like, I'm sorry, that just drives me insane. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are, Michael Burnham? And again, I feel terrible because it's obviously not the actor's fault. Anita Martin Green, any of these people, it's these idiot writers that, well, I'm Michael Burnham and I know everything, and fuck you, president. And it's like,
do you think they have a formula? Because I was thinking about it. Do they just have like on the wall, like, okay, here's a 30-second opening. We have to come up with, there's a deadly anomaly that's going to wipe everybody out. Okay, cue the scene. We got to get some of the crew members to go investigate. They're all going to be upset because they don't think they could do it. Action happens 30 minutes into it. Michael Burnham comes and saves the day. Epilogue, and that's it. It's literally the same show week to week. Not to say that Kirk and Spock and McCoy were all over the place, but they were actually. They would do different. So they do the Western this week, they do the gangster movie this week, and they would have different philosophies coming into play. But this show is the same formula every single week. I've been watching it for 4 years now, going, okay.
Yeah, well, two things to that. One, as I've said before, I don't buy that. Well, the Shatner always saved the day. No, that's not true.
No, he did not.
McCoy saved the day in Spock's brain. Galileo 7. That's that was Spock. Spock, being captain, being in command, and there's tons of times where Spock has the solution. But also, that's 1960s thinking. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe they abandoned this, Mitch. I don't know, because as we've said before, Michael Pillar's the guy who during Next Generation is like, let's have a Worf story, let's have a Picard story,
no, seriously,
story.
Yeah,
and maybe they've abandoned that because, as you know, and we've discussed this, for the longest time they were abandoning the captain's log. At least we got that fucking back.
Yeah.
And again, there's this like Michael Chabon, what a brilliant writer. But that's bullshit. I don't like the captain's logs. Well, that's Star Trek. I don't know how to, and it's a great way.
Is that why they went away?
Yes.
Oh, because he didn't like them?
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea. I was like, who decided this?
Well, and maybe they agreed with him. I don't know. But it was like, that's passe. We should do that. It's like, no, that explains the story.
Passe.
That, Captain's log, we're at Naranda 3 to discover why there's a shift in anomalies and everything. By the way, can I recommend another great YouTuber? And that's this guy named the Nitpicking Nerd. He's this Eastern European gentleman. Forgive my comparison because I don't mean this in a negative way. It's like hearing Balky from Perfect Strangers do a Star Trek critique. And the guy is so on point with so many things that drive him crazy. And a big one is just the lack of scientific knowledge that the writers obviously have.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hold that thought till we get to the next episode. A couple things. First of all, Dante says, Tilly having doubts, then leaving felt like a waste of a story. That time could have been used. Tell the character that will take her spot on the show and get that screen time doing something other than stating exposition and saying "Aye, Captain."
Mhm.
And let's see what else here. Let's see. I got Wayne. To join Starfleet, you don't have to be made of sterner stuff because there's a possibility of losing your life for the Federation. All right. Whatever. Langley says, that's my issue. I don't mind a flawed character. I just don't like the show promoting her flaws as a virtue. Totally agree with that, Wayne. Well, you know, it's crazy, man. And then obviously one of the things I said about last week and this week's episode, how do you feel? Remember in Star Trek 4? Spock's doing the big test.
Yeah, how do you feel?
Kind of like it. Yeah, and it ends with, how do you feel? How do you feel? And it's a joke.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it's like, what? Yeah. I mean, he's just like, it's so great that he's like, and it's like he doesn't know how to respond. And obviously, we need
Mom,
what's her face from
Amanda.
Father Knows Best, exactly, Amanda, to explain it to him and everything. But that's great. It's fun, and it's like it's an atypical moment rather than this show where that's the rigor de jour of oh man, let me tell you my feelings. Oh, I'm not feeling good. Oh man. Oh, it's fucking annoying, man. It drives me nuts. Stuart says it's more science fantasy than science fiction now. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Because these guys aren't capable.
No.
Where is the science expert that has been part of Star Trek, even going back to the original series?
Mm-hmm.
They had sci-fi writers that understood the rules of science.
Mm-hmm.
But for the longest time, from the Next Generation through Enterprise, I've heard these guys that were the science advisors. And like, well, science doesn't work that way, or that theory doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. Getting to the anomaly and what they talked about in this week's episode, the nitpicking nerd said, gravity doesn't push things away.
No.
That's the explanation of the anomaly. Gravity pulls things towards you.
Yeah.
That's what gravity does.
Yeah.
But again, they don't know. And they're like, hey,
no.
It's pushing shit away.
No, they threw around so much techno babble beyond normal in this week's episode. I was just like glazing over because is it Stamets? What's his name?
Yeah, Stamets is
Stamets. Yeah, he's talking to the dude that just had like the magic marker thing drawn on his head. That guy.
Yep, from Risa.
Yeah,
which I like, by the way. I like that he's from Risa. I like that he's a genius from Risa.
Yeah, but then
and everybody's having fun fucking, and they're not. And he's like, "Hey, man, I got some real serious thoughts." Yeah, we're on the pleasure planet. We don't care. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
No,
that didn't bother me.
But they just started talking about and Stamets is about to lose his mind, and then his doctor husband is just like, "Yeah, I don't feel good. I don't know.
Yep,
everything's there." And then he goes and talks to Cronenberg, whatever his character's name is.
Wait, I get it.
You're dead. That's
there
why you. There you go. That's the scene.
Yep.
You know how you just, and I told you too. He says basically you died and you came back, and it's like giving the finger to people that didn't live. And I said to you, do you really think this is going to be a thing that we talk about 1,000 years from now? That this hand gesture is still prominent? I don't know.
I hear you, man.
The whole story was dumb. I don't care what the hell.
Well,
you know,
let's get into it now. And truly, everybody. I love people that pointed out, well, you know, they were showing a great star map of a lot of different like areas that we know Trek, you know, things like there's Denobula, that's where Dr. Phlox is from, Deneva and Rigel, of course.
Yeah.
And there was another picture that had other, you know, it had Wolf 359 on it and a couple other Star Trek, you know, name check planets.
Mm-hmm.
They do that fine. The problem is they don't follow through with that. We get that great scene where they reopen Starfleet Academy and we see a Ferengi captain.
Mm-hmm.
How come the Ferengi captain didn't have any lines? You just got, you know, Captain Idiot there with his ears out and nothing happens. It's like, what the fuck?
Just so you remember that it's Star Trek. Just so you're like, what the hell show is this? Oh, yeah, it's Star Trek. Oh, okay.
I really don't know.
4 years. Just keep saying that to yourself. 4 years. It hasn't gelled once into
we got another crew member, Rice. All right, by the way, all right, so this week's episode, the deal is obviously the anomaly is about to affect this planet. They have to evacuate the planet.
Yep.
I love the fact that, again, the Admiral's like, we're sending a bunch of ships out there. And Burnham is like, and I'm going to lead it. And it's like, okay, couldn't it just be all right, Captain, we're sending you and several other ships.
Nope.
And then fine, follow it. But she has to declare, I have to lead it. And it's like, all
Makes
right,
no sense whatsoever.
you're the solution.
They did refer to the ship when the guy came on it. The guy from Rice said, "Oh, I wanted to go on board this antique ship." He did refer to the fact that the Discovery is 1,000-year-old ship that's flying around. I'm like, yeah, it is. And why would you put it like, yeah, it's going around with your flagship stuff. It's a clunker.
Well, again, I don't mind that, and also they've obviously modified Discovery, and they got the detachable nacelles. Why? No reason.
Reason.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
And there's only 2 people that can do the Spore drive. Still, it's their guy, and somebody else is working on it.
Right. And again, Stamets incredibly jealous of anyone who comes in and interferes with his world.
Yeah,
I mean, he's always annoyed or confused. That face right there with Tig Notaro, Jet Reno.
Jet Reno's turning into Martin Short there.
Oh, nice.
She does. She looks like Ed Grimley. Turning into Ed Grimley before my eyes. I must say, the DMA is out of control. I must say.
Nice. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I will say I felt Tig Notaro was less abrasive than she has been in previous episodes. So I don't know. Whatever. But
she's the only one on that ship that doesn't feel like they're upset doing their job.
I'm sorry?
She's the only one on that crew that doesn't feel upset doing her job. She just like shut up and does their job and goes to work and goes home.
She still gets annoyed whenever she's called or whatever. It's like, yeah, what do you want? And again, I suppose she's supposed to be like Cranky McCoy, basically. I
guess.
So I don't know. Regardless, but the point is,
crying in her milk.
we do have Lieutenant Rise or Reese. Here he is. He's gonna take care of most of the planet, and Book and Burnham are gonna take care of these prisoners. I thought it was interesting that, and even in the teaser, we got this leader of the planet that's like, yeah, but these people that are still there on the planet, they're all in jail. They broke our laws.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to live. Now you had the opportunity to maybe tell an interesting kind of moral dilemma. Of course, not the way that they wrote it.
No.
They kind of blew it. And it would have been more interesting to continue to go back to, I don't have a photo of him, this leader explaining to either Burnham or the Federation, no, these are our laws. They broke these laws. That's why they're still there. And I even didn't mind the nod to the Emerald Chain, the Orion rule of law that was introduced last year and everything. Okay, run with that a little bit more, as opposed to Book and Burnham. Hey, we're here to rescue you. And that's great. We know our planet's exploding, but let us tell you why we really hate.
You know what? Jump on this storyline you're talking about. Just jump into the end real quick.
Yeah, sure.
At the end of the story, she gets the prisoners off the planet, and then she tells the guy, well, now that planet, that colony you have no longer exists because it got destroyed.
Right.
You are now a refugee. And now you have to take in Starfleet rules and stuff, and these people are in prison. I go, wait a second. Did she just totally fuck over the whole Prime Directive right before our eyes, where you're not supposed to interfere with cultures and their thing? Yes, their planet was destroyed, but that's why they went there to rescue those people. So basically, she's got this imperialistic view saying, hey, fuck you, your planet's gone. You're going to do what the hell I say now because my might is right. I was like, wait a second. You just took these people, you saved, quote unquote, saved them from dying, but now all of a sudden you're over there dictating your laws don't apply. They're not prisoners. We'll decide what the hell goes on there. Now I'm like, oh, fuck you, Michael Burnham and your fucking Federation. You're going to come over here and just take people out of there. Why doesn't the United States? Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go over to the island of Bikini. We're going to test an atom bomb. We're going to take those people from there because we could do that and throw you over here. Now you're in our charge and you can't go back to your land because we just blew up a bomb. You can't go there. What the hell is that all about? It just seems wrong, man.
Well, it certainly should have been discussed. And I would have much rather seen that rather than all I did was steal a loaf of bread.
You know what would have been a good story? If they were prisoners and you knew the planet was going to be destroyed and you didn't know their crimes, maybe they should have done a story like, well, do we really have to save these people?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It sounds cold-blooded, but you're like, hey, fuck you.
Yes.
If they were all murderers, you wouldn't waste your time, would you?
Well, again, that was the more interesting moral debate to have is and give the opportunity of, well, wait a minute, these are criminals. Why should we say, whatever, and have that leader plead the case of this is why they're not important. That's fine. And again, it could have been a little discussion or whatever, rather than again the prisoners like, oh, let me tell you again, we're here to rescue you. Well, let me tell you about my problems.
Yeah.
No, we're here to rescue you. We got to go now. And yes, they were saying that, but again, we still got these nonsense little moments.
Said, oh yeah, well, he was put here because he violated this law, and he's been here for 50 years. He's been here because of this. I go, oh, so now we're going to debate their sentence,
right? One by one.
We have a couple minutes to go before this thing's blown to bits. And even when they get that force shield down, they're like, "Come on, let's get out of here." Because like, hey, wait a minute, I got to go back to my bunk and get something. It's like, what are you fucking nuts, man? That like the tornado's coming to wipe us out. And hey, I got to go get something. And then he has this little discussion to her about, well, you know what this is, and that actor looked familiar. I don't know where he's from, but I
have no idea.
I thought it, but again, I assumed he was Native American. I could be wrong. I was like, oh, was he in like?
He did look like he did look like he could be Native American, but I have no idea what is.
No, I don't know. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, guys.
Again, whatever. All they do is weepy shit. I mean, that's literally what it is. God. Yeah, and that's another interesting point that Stuart makes. And if the colony is so strict, there are only 6 prisoners.
Well, they sent all those ships. I was assuming that the other ships were getting the rest of the people. That's what I was thinking.
Oh no, they were.
Yeah. Okay. I was hoping so. Like, why'd you waste all those resources?
Well, they said everyone is at the embargo ports to be evacuated, except we've got readings here of 6 people that are stuck, and that's when the leader is like, "Oh yeah, they're in prison. They don't care. Fuck those guys. They're screwed." So Langley is right. He's like, I do think season 4 is better. Still can't bring myself to get excited to watch week. Well, Mitch and I were talking on Friday before we watched the episode, and he's like, I haven't watched it yet. I'm like, neither have I, man.
No.
I mean, good Lord, that's insane.
Yeah,
for 2 people that have loved Star Trek for 50 years.
50 years, yeah. I get up on Wednesdays. I look forward to Wednesdays because I want to watch Hawkeye on Disney. I can't wait for it. Like when The Mandalorian was on, I was up at 5 a.m. Plus, I had to do a radio show, but I would get up and watch it, eating a bowl of cereal, like a kid. Watch because I was so excited to watch this show because it was so good every week. I told you that Tilly episode I had to watch in 2 different viewings because I fell asleep the first time out, and I didn't even realize I fell asleep till the next day. And I go, how did that show end? Oh my God, I didn't watch it all. I had to go back and watch where it left off. And I was like, oh my Christ. No, and then I was so pissed that she solved all their problems at the end. I was like, wow, that's so ballsy.
Yeah. Well, and again, with the smugness of Michael Burnham, that it's that Burnham way.
And she gave him that plant. They gave that woman that plant thing at the end of this episode, the little light show thing,
the family tree.
The Christmas, the family tree, whatever. Well, you know what's so funny? It's never going to get better. I've kind of realized this now. It's kind of like it's kind of like living with an inoperable disease. It's not going to change after 4 years. You go like you said, Star Trek Next Generation first year sucks. I don't care what you say. There's
a couple good episodes,
and maybe okay, but on the majority was a shitty show. Second season, they started getting some little like rays of sunshine. They got Guinan, they got Dr. Pulaski. There were some stories in there. I'm like, hey, this is good. Like the machine and man thing with Data. Those were good, well written. And then third, once they got the best of both worlds, they were off to the races. They never looked back. This show here, first year, okay, sea legs, you don't know what's happening. They should figure it out. They had that good story with the guy from the Mirror Universe, Lorca. Yeah, that was I liked that storyline. It was great. And then they switched captains. Everything was going good. And then something happened right second season. And then third season was this bullshit with the Red Angel shit. And then this year's nothing.
Mitch, honestly, I'm glad you said that because I was thinking about that as well in terms of not so much the Mirror Universe, but just in general. I really felt like now looking back, the first season's better.
Yeah.
They even had that Harry Mudd episode with the time loop continuing, and it's like, all right, at least that had them having fun, and they were all, remember they had like the big dance party and stuff, and that's where Burnham and what's his face, fake Klingon or fake human.
Oh yeah, the fake Klingon guy.
Ash Tyler.
Yes.
Ash Tyler.
Yeah.
They're kind of flirting with each other and getting to know each other, and Tilly's being silly and wacky and having fun. These, I mean, again, I understand that because you stick with one story.
Yeah.
Every season is, oh my God, we're in dire straits. There's no joy on this show.
No.
There's no fun on this show.
None.
Like there was in every other Star Trek.
You know what I say? Season 3 had Captain Pike. That was good.
Season 2.
Those shows, whenever he was on, was a good show. You know,
Season 2.
Even though they screwed Spock up, but
yeah.
No, I told you before too, and I never want to sound angry, but when I watch the show, I'm almost yelling at the screen because I don't know these people. I've never met any of these actors. I don't like any of them. I literally have like a disdain towards them, so much so that I get mad. I actually get mad at the show, and I'm yelling at the characters like, I hate you. It's illogical why I should have hate towards a person I've never met and they're just playing a character, but I go, hate you. Oh, you hate you really big time. Get off the show. I just can't take them anymore.
Stuart is right. The problem was the showrunners have designed a show that cannot be critiqued. Any critique of Michael is confounded by social and gender concerns. Yes, but not for those of us who aren't afraid of doing that, and it can continue to say it's not Sunita Martin Green's fault.
No,
it's not Anthony Rapp's fault. It's not Tig Notaro's fault. They're in a show where there's bad writing happening.
Yeah,
I would love to see them get more balanced and a little more reserved. I got to point out one more thing that drove me crazy, and that is Book is name checked. His name is Cleveland Booker. I'm sorry, I'm confused. Like he's from an alien planet.
Yeah.
Is this alien planet, was it an Earth colony hundreds of years ago? And now, it's because I even went to Memory Alpha, the great repository of Star Trek information, to kind of figure out, but his name's Cleveland Booker. There's the books that Peter David wrote called New Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
The captain of that was a completely invented character by David, and he went by the name Mackenzie Calhoun. Mm-hmm. But really, that was kind of an Earth way of, and I'll kind of throw a Klingon accent of, his real name was like Mackenzie Calhoun or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, yeah, but to make it easier and stuff, we just call him Mackenzie Calhoun. So is that the deal with Cleveland Booker? I don't know, but like David Cronenberg or whomever name checks him, and I'm like, Cleveland? Really?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he have like an alien name or some crap like that? I'm very confused. Oh, okay. Langley says they are evolved humans, I believe. I'd like confirmation on that, Langley.
Oh, really? I thought they were a whole new species because they could do that thing we talked to whales type of thing.
Right. They can all speak to.
Well, they did. They're all gone now.
The other thing that I was confused by, and I've been asking for years, and I had forgotten. And again, you got to go back to the first season. Picard has, kind of came up through the diplomatic realm and stuff. Kirk is your basic military man. I'm like, Janeway is a scientist.
Yeah.
Sisko is a military man.
Mm-hmm.
Archer is a young explorer that joined Starfleet to be an explorer and, following in his father's footsteps.
Yep.
I'm like, what's Michael Burnham's specialty?
Don't know.
I read it and I've forgotten about this. She's a xeno, not biologist, but like kind of, she is well versed in seeing alien species and they said kind of an anthropological xeno whatever, so that she could like study various alien races and stuff. And she was put on Discovery because of the tardigrade, which was the original way that the ship was able to move and stuff. But that's why she was initially on Discovery. Again, I'm not seeing the.
So how does she become captain material?
Well, that's a fair question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I forgot all that. Wow.
I don't.
Jeez.
So yeah, there you go. Yes, and Langley says he can't confirm that that they are evolved humans, but no, that's my point, Langley. I would like to see it like, okay, because it was like, all right, Cleveland Booker, he's from whatever the name of his planet was.
Yeah.
Then I went to the planet, and you would think it would say this planet was founded by Earth colonists, whenever. And I don't see that. Yeah, here we go. Langley says that Burnham is a xenoanthropologist, a science officer. Yeah. And also, again, yes, not only the prisoner that caused the fucking war, a mutineer. A mutineer, which I love. That was another thing about last week's episode with Tilly, was I'm so glad that finally somebody has said, she's like, when we first were bunking together, I was really nervous about bunking with Starfleet's most notorious mutineer.
Yep.
And it's like, thank you. Because that's still on her record, Captain, as you sail through your promotions and all that bullshit.
They forget that stuff.
I don't know.
Again, what do they do? Like 10, 12 episodes a year?
Something like that.
It's amazing how they don't.
We're halfway
can't
through.
Keep track of this stuff. It's like, wow, man. I don't know. And this underlying story. You know what? Again, another show that I used to love, and I did love it since it came back, was Doctor Who. And I had no problem with Jodie Whittaker becoming Doctor Who. I don't care if she's female. I don't care if she has like a tentacle head. I don't care.
No, she's a fun character.
She's she's a great actress. I saw her in the was it church thing? Broadchurch. Yeah, about the murder in the town.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. The writer, whoever's in charge of the show, they've had like two or three episodes weren't so bad. They were watchable. But the rest are shit. And I don't care what the hell's in charge. I don't care who's running it. It's a shitty show now. So much so my DVR records it, and I don't even watch it.
I'm the same way.
And God knows I only watch Trek because of you. And I've said it to you. I go, if it wasn't for you saying want to do this stuff, I wouldn't even watch this show. I don't even care.
I know.
I really don't. I mean, I never thought the day would come where I wouldn't go see a Star Trek movie in the theater. It'd like if there was a new Spider-Man movie and I didn't go, or a new Captain America, I didn't go, something bad had to happen. Like I've been traumatized. That's what this show's like. And I hate to say it, every week when I watch it, it's a chore. It literally is. I got to click on it. I go, ugh.
No, I understand that. This week, well, again, like I said, when it's like, hey, we're going to go evacuate this planet and I'll be in charge. It's like, shut up.
Why?
Jesus.
And I told you before, I said, why hasn't anybody else stood out in that crew except Tilly and except
well, again, Rice got his opportunity where at least he did something. I really like the Rice scientist. Although what annoyed me was, first of all, they don't know what the anomaly is, but he figured out a way of replicating it. And also, man, when they go, give me some mashed potatoes, I'm like, oh, fuck you. You're about to do Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
And Richard Dreyfuss making the mountain out of the mashed potatoes. I'm like, man, you guys have no fucking original ideas, do you?
No.
The answer is no. No, we don't.
No. And I told you, whenever they call the DMA, I feel bad because I had a career in direct market catalog. So whenever I hear DMA, I think of the Direct Market Association. So I get nervous. I go, oh my God, why is the Direct Market Association destroying galaxies?
And as opposed to calling it a DMA, you can't just call it the anomaly.
Anomaly. Just call it the anomaly.
Yeah. That's all you have to do. But
the big cloud, V'ger. You just called it an anomaly.
We call it the DMA to kind of simplify things.
Don't know. Maybe
guess what? You simplify everything. Fuck you. It's goddamn Star Trek. Man, again, Mitch, wasn't it exciting to learn? And I don't know about you, but like go back to The Next Generation.
Yeah.
And that wonderful episode with Scotty. And it opens with,
the Dyson
sphere. What is that thing? And then they look at it, and all of a sudden Picard goes, Data, could we be looking at a Dyson sphere?
Yeah, and I went and looked it up, and there was such a thing. Yeah,
and Riker's like, Dyson sphere? Okay, well, guess what? Back in the 20th century, Freeman Dyson postulated you could collect
put
energy.
A ship around the sun. Yeah.
Yep, and you've got an inexhaustible source of energy.
Dude, I've learned a lot of like really real scientific theory. I've actually picked up and fit in this little stupid gray brain of mine from watching Star Trek stuff.
It's just like those knucklehead books. Everything I ever learned about science, I learned from Star Trek. Absolutely, man.
Now, I don't learn anything about this new show other than the replicators poop. But other than that, nothing.
And our the other great show like that wonderful documentary they made, How William Shatner Changed the Universe.
Can I also say that I don't understand why Cronenberg has glasses? As one who wears eyeglasses, I would have thought by the 1,000 years from now they would have fucking figured it out, so you wouldn't need eyeglasses anymore.
Well,
what do I care? Captain Kirk had the little readers.
That or Geordi. Geordi though, also.
But they fixed his implants.
Yeah.
And this is 1,000 years in the future, so
that's a good point. That's a very good point, Mitch. No,
they should have a pill for Tilly to take to be thin, because I would take it in a heartbeat. I want to also clothes off the rack.
The other thing about Cronenberg that drives me nuts, it's like, let's keep him mysterious. I don't want him to be warm fuzzy. I mean, he's not warm fuzzy at all. No, I've got 8 minutes. What's your problem? What's your problem, Culber?
God knows
your bullshit.
If this show keeps
up, I don't feel good.
If this show keeps up, he'll be on talking about how he doesn't like his job. It'll be like, I don't like being mean to people.
I don't know.
So frustrating. It really is. It's sad. I told you I don't even look for the coming attractions for next week's episode. Is it over? Good. I could turn it off now. Oh, he liked the way they looked. Oh, okay. Thanks. Okay, whatever.
No, I appreciate the info, Stuart. That's fine. Okay. God, I want to see if there are other great.
What other things has he got on that he likes just because the way they feel?
I don't know. Hold on a second. Because I want to.
Under his uniform, he's wearing all kind of bizarre things. We don't want to talk about
it. I'm scrolling down to get to other comments that were made on Facebook.
Can I ask if people think that you and I are fucking nuts for doing this every time? Just like sitting there screaming, like these guys must have a lot of anger in their lives that they have to come on the show and beat on this like a redheaded stepchild.
It's funny. My buddy filmmaker Kurt Matilla was on Friday night. He just made this very cool JFK documentary with Oliver Stone that's running on Showtime. Mm-hmm. And he said, I love your. First of all, he's a massive Star Trek fan as well.
Yeah.
He's like, I love how you guys come on every week because you're like a boxer. Like, well, maybe this time I won't. Like, that's constantly losing.
Yeah.
And he goes, everything you yell about, they're not going to change. It's never going to get, like you just said, it's never going to get better.
It's never going to get better.
But I kind of see this as us. We're just having fun, man.
We're just talking it over.
We're talking.
Because wouldn't it be something if we were surprised one week, like you and I come on, and Franco, if he was here, and we go, "Oh my God, wasn't that something else?" Like that was the best show I ever saw on this thing. That never happened though.
And also, honestly, and I appreciate this. Stuart says that his we're therapy for dealing with this insanity. I couldn't agree more. And Langley says, I appreciate this every week because I can't talk to anyone else that thinks like me. No, man. Hey, Larry Young and John John Price. This great show called Serious Star Trek. They are frustrated as well. John writes fantastic essays about every episode on medium.com. And I love what John says. And again, we're venting steam, we're having fun, we're yelling, to be cathartic. And you're right, Mitch. I mean, God, Lower Decks actually had a couple episodes.
It did. It's what's so funny? I was sitting there and last night, I don't know why I get bored. I watch YouTube shows and I'll put them on in the background as I'm working on the computer doing something. And they had a show about Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker, which came out like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, right? In 2019, and it still has a bad taste in the mouth. And the guy went through what happened, what went wrong. He compared the Avengers Endgame to the last Star Wars movie, and he said they have the same similar epic conclusions, but why is this a misfire and this one has audience screaming for more? And they show what went wrong, and they said you have brilliant multi-millionaire writers on the Star Wars thing, and here's the best thing that they came up with, and I'm going to go off if they don't know Star Wars. The Emperor, who was in the original Star Wars movies, shows up at the end of episode 9, and here's the dialogue. Somehow Palpatine returned, and they said, what do you mean somehow? What is that, like bad writing? Because they put a placeholder in the meeting. They're like, hey, we're going to bring back this guy. How's he back? I don't know yet. Just put somehow. We'll fill it in later. And they never went back. And the next thing you know, they're shooting the movie. And it's like, hey, what's this? Oh, fuck. We never explained it. Yeah, somehow he came back. Don't worry. Nobody cares. And it's all that little shit stuff where no one cares and they gloss over it that the real fans get nuts about because they wasted all their life learning this minutia and every detail about how ships work and how the Federation and all the alien planets. And now the new people come in like, fuck that shit. We're just telling the story. We got to go. You guys are idiots for worried about this. And then you and I get to come on and scream because we miss all that detail and all that story development and stuff. And that's why we get frustrated, I think.
100%, man.
It's just being phoned in and we know it. We could see it. But they think the problem's us. They'll come back and go, oh, you guys are just a bunch of annoying fanboys and you're just crying because you're old and this and that. I go, no, I'm not crying when I watch Hawkeye. I'm old. The same character's been around for 50, 60 years on that shit. And I'm watching that every week and loving it because it's a well-written story. It's actually thought out, not this stuff. There's nothing.
Well, again, maybe we should watch The Expanse. I mean, everyone's telling me that
is that a good show?
Yeah, everyone. I mean, no, and I mean, what I do know about its politics, its space politics, it's exactly what you want from Star Trek, or it even reminds me, from what I've heard, of Babylon 5 as well.
I loved Babylon 5. That was a great show.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, again, it explained everything.
They had
detailed ways.
Oh, they had a mythology on that show that was insane. They have their warrior nuns too, the Rangers and stuff. Oh my God. It was all explained to you in every little detail.
Mitch, you nailed it. It didn't even occur to me that the Romulan nuns are exactly like the Rangers of the Minbari.
Yeah.
And you're right about that. That's once again, this is what new Star Trek does. They steal from other shows.
Pick from other shows, yeah.
Yep.
But they do it badly. True. They do it badly.
I hate to say it, Mitch, but I want to wrap up just because
I know. You got to go.
Coming up. Yeah. Here, I mean, again, Wayne, it's like it's best not to think of Discovery in canon, despite what Discovery people are saying. Right. Yeah, again, Kurt Matilla, the guy I talked to on Friday, he was telling me that a woman he knows, her mother was part of the original Roddenberry letter writing campaign to save Star Trek.
Wow.
And he's like, what do you think of Discovery? And she's like, oh, I love it. And she's like, really? He goes, doesn't it bother you the way it doesn't jive with canon? She's like, oh, I don't think it's canon. She's like, she goes, it'll drive you crazy if you do think it's canon. She's like, just ignore that and then make it its own thing. And that way I like it.
Well, one of the ships was called the USS Janeway this week.
Oh, I'm aware. That and also a T'Pau ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Again, just like the star map that they're looking at, this is what this is the one thing they do well. They name check quite well.
Yeah.
And everything. But because there's no depth to that. And we can't be, because even Stuart or somebody else on Facebook's like, well, at least the star map had all those great planets. It's like, yeah, those are member berries.
Yeah.
That's fine, but that's not enough. We should expect good science fiction adventure and interesting intellectual problems to ponder.
Correct.
We don't get that anymore.
No. And before we sign off, if you want to watch good Star Trek, and you must have Amazon if you have Paramount Plus, watch Shatner in Space. It's one episode, I believe. It's all about William Shatner's 90-year-old body going up into space on that big penis rocket.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos rocket. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, dude, I got chills watching it. I did. That's cool. And I mean, we know it was kind of cheesy, and we know Shatner's kind of corny and schlocky, but the fact that it's Captain Kirk, I don't give a shit what the hell you think. It's Captain Kirk going into space for a couple minutes. Fuck, I'm impressed. You know what I mean? If Christopher Reeve got to fly,
let's try and talk about that on the next episode.
Yeah, well, Shatner in Space, watch it. It's a Christmas present to Star Trek fans. So.
Absolutely. Everybody, thanks for watching, as always, and thank you for the encouragement that we are not just two old men yelling at clouds. Obviously, there is a group of you out there that feels the same way we do, and we thank you for that. We'll talk next week. We'll figure out a day. I know it's Christmas season. Mm-hmm. If it's after the holidays, everybody have a fine Christmas.
Is Trek even on this week?
I have no idea. That's a very good question.
Because the schedule, who knows?
I mean, it's the day before Christmas Eve, so I would.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But who the hell knows? All right, until the next Trek Watch, live long and prosper.
Maybe goodbye, Merry Christmas. See you next time.
Yeah, maybe we'll like next week or the next episode better.
Go watch Spider-Man. That was a better movie.